We have a whole lot of gossip to talk about in the NASCAR garage today. And what about that U.S. court ruling that they ruled on 2311 Front Row Motorsports? Details coming up on the Checkard Flag. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Checkered Flag. Breaking news from the courthouse today as the U.S. Court of Appeals has now overturned a preliminary injunction against NASCAR that forced them to recognize 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports as charter teams while the lawsuit is underway, and both teams will be allowed to request a hearing by the full court, which I believe they will. So here's what Bob Pockris and Jeff Gluck posted on X. Major lawsuit news. The preliminary injunction that allowed 2311 and Front Row Motorsports to race as charter teams has been overturned by a federal appeals court. The teams could now lose their charters, both existing and the ones they got from what was then Stewart-Haas Racing, and race as open teams. So the teams get 14 days to ask for the case to be heard by the entire appeals court judges, instead of just the 3 judges who heard the case initially. The ruling today wouldn't go into effect until 7 days after that deadline passes at the earliest. After reading all of that, that means that 2311 and Front Row will have to qualify for the races now. But this makes 6 total drivers lose their rides. Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Riley Herbst at 2311, and then Todd Gilliland, Zane Smith, and Noah Gregson. This is absolutely huge for these teams because it's absolutely devastating to hear that news and saddening to hear it. And it sucks that it went to NASCAR's favor, but it's their fault. They made every other team forced to sign a contract. NASCAR is becoming a black shadow of auto sports racing. A shady sport. Like, it ain't like the old days where you ran out and raced anything. Not at all. I just don't get it. Hendrick Motorsports announced that Anheuser-Busch's energy drink Forum Energy will be a primary sponsorship for William Byron as a multi-year sponsorship deal starting in 2026 with 2 races and expanding to 4 races in the 2027 season. And the drink brand will also be a full season team sponsor for Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Hendrick Motorsports teams starting this season, 2026 and 2027. Continuing with sponsorship news, Tony Breidinger and Tricon Garage announced that the Luxury Style brand Coach will debut this weekend at Michigan and become another iconic brand that she has brought into the NASCAR world alongside Victoria's Secret, which she is sponsored already by. Clue nicotine pouches has joined Front Row Motorsports for a multi-race sponsorship on the number 34 truck driven by Lane Riggs starting this weekend at Michigan. And in addition, Clue will serve as a full season sponsor for the team. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will once again represent Hulk Hogan's beer brand with a patriotic American flag themed car this weekend in the Firekeepers Casino 400 at Michigan. And Jimmy Hart, or better known as the Mouth of the South, will be at the track handing out cold ones and will have a megaphone in hand to support the beer brand. So if you're in the infield for the race, you will hear him before you see him with the megaphone helping them out. Turning to manufacturer news now, Dodge is very close to becoming another OEM in the NASCAR world as they plan to field in the Truck Series next season, and a report from Sports Business Journal's Adam Stern published a story on Sunday which claims Cletus McFarland, aka Garrett Mitchell, could be a big piece of the puzzle, as a picture of the truck was leaked onto Facebook yesterday. Here is that picture. Turning to penalties now, NASCAR gave out penalties to Junior Motorsports rookie Connor Zilisch for finding 2 unsecured lug nuts on the car, and crew chief Marty Lindley has been fined $10,000 and has been suspended, but since the Xfinity is off this week, his suspension will be served in Pocono. NASCAR has announced it will award its top 3 finishers in the Xfinity and Cup Series with an Olympic/Formula One style podium ceremony, kind of like they did at the class in 2022 and 2024, maybe 2023, for the NASCAR Mexico City weekend, marking the first points race outside the U.S. since 1958. And later than that, Corey LaJoie announced that he is returning to Spire Motorsports, driving 9 Craftsman Truck Series races in the 07 Chevy with Gainbridge as a sponsor starting this weekend in Michigan, and will continue at Richmond, Darlington, Bristol, New Hampshire, Charlotte, Talladega, Martinsville, and the season finale at Phoenix. Atlanta Motor Speedway has announced on Tuesday that they have renamed to Echo Park Speedway, which will go in place starting with the Quaker State 400 night race on Saturday, June 28th, on a 7-year deal between Echo Park Automotive and Speedway Motorsports Incorporated, aka SMI. A little bit of back history on Echo Park Automotive. They are a big staple in the Smith family, founded and operated by Bruton Smith, so it makes sense on this one to be renamed Echo Park Speedway. But what other speedways would be renamed under the SMI banner? Could Texas undergo a rename like Windstar Speedway or Auto Trader Speedway? Anything. I hate seeing name changes to legendary tracks, but Charlotte did it with Lowe's Motor Speedway transitioning to Charlotte. Phoenix did it, going to ISM Speedway, and then back to Phoenix Raceway to where we are now. Auto Club just did the same thing with California Speedway, and now changed it to Auto Club. Well, that'll do it for the Checkered Flag. Have a great day, everybody, and hopefully you have seen all the headlines that you need to know for today. We'll be back some other time for another edition of the Checkered Flag. Goodbye, stay safe, and burn her down.